Hey, John, good morning. Rob Cesternino. I am so bummed out to have you only in our Survivor world for one exciting day, but gone too soon.
Gone but not forgotten. One day so far. One day so
One
far.
one day so far. Okay, John, I watched the episode last night. I felt like you're doing great. I really thought that you had so much. I thought going your way. I was not feeling like that you were in danger. And then we get to the vote, and then they're all for you. Well, what happened?
So what it's such an important question.
Yeah,
Uh so I've thought about this and there's after the immunity challenges before the immunity challenge. After the immunity challenge, you think through all the different ways a challenge could go, a vote could go, relationships could go, strategy could go. I I I did not think enough about, maybe I couldn't have thought about that much about what happens if somebody really loses it. Like, we've all seen people kind of lose it, and we've all seen people turn on their alliances. It's rare to put them together. Rare to put them together. Maybe never before have anyone seen anything like that. And so if Andy doesn't flip out, I think there's a lot of different paths it could have gone, and I would have, I think, been okay.
what would have happened had you just lost the challenge in a regular fashion?
So obviously it's a hypothetical, but what I had expected and hoped for is I had actually had a good relationship with Annika. The reason the vote ends up onto her is complicated, and there's a lot of pieces you don't see, but I had hoped and expected that Annika would have pulled in Rachel, I would have pulled in Andy, and that would have been a four.
Mm-hmm.
There were a few reasons for that, but there's just a natural affinity there. Now, I did not see just how much there had been a moment where Andy had alienated Rachel a bit, but I
Yeah.
still think there was some connection with me and Annika. We could have pulled in Rachel. That was a natural group. But once Andy does that, it really narrows the possibilities. We get back, and the conversation is pretty neat and clean, which is we got to get rid of Andy.
Yeah.
But I just didn't believe it at all. Like, this is what was frustrating about all of this is, like, it's not like I went into this with any kind of unawareness. Like, I felt like I understood what was going on.
We got that. We get that. You took this very seriously, and you did a ton of research to get to this point. So when you have that conversation with the three women, and they're telling you, "Okay, it's Andy," and you're not buying it, that do you feel like that, knowing what you know now, that they were being straight with you, or do you feel like that you putting the Annika name out there ultimately got it back to you?
No, I feel very confident that what I was sensing was true.
Yeah.
That I feel very confident that what I was sensing was true. That the vote was on me, and it was to tell Andy it was me, tell me it was Andy, try to get me to not play the shot in the dark. I was a threat. Andy was not. And the challenge I had, right? And the reason I ultimately tried to pull in, really, it was Andy, because I do think he actually was uncertain, even though it was obvious to me that he was safe. Uh, that that because Annika's name had been floated before, to try to get the vote on to Annika, because basically, how do you persuade a group of people to vote for Andy when they're already telling you the vote is Andy? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's such a strange, like, hey, like, it's, I think, pretty clear to all of us we need to vote Andy. We all agree. Shit. Like, and there was moments I like had a pretty direct conversation with Rachel about this, which is like, Rachel, I understand you're telling me that it's Andy, and I understand why you're doing that. I'm asking, can we please get a group together right now and have a serious conversation about why it actually should be, right? Like, there's a bunch of different things I was trying. it was basically as we headed into tribal, I was like, do I play the shot in the dark? If I don't have a regret about it, but I do think it would have been really funny. And I thought about doing this of like before I went up and voted, dumping my bag out and taking out the shot in the dark in front of everybody and going and playing it. But that is how sure I basically felt like it wasn't whether or not the vote was on me. It was what do I think is more likely? A 1 in 6 chance with a shot in the dark, or the chances that I've actually pulled off getting the vote off of me. And I really felt like it was a wash, like a 1 in 6 in both directions. Like I had a small chance in both directions, and I decided I'd rather go out voting than not voting.
Sure. So we saw you doing your best to try to connect with the group. Do you feel like that you made strides in connecting with them?
Yes, it's such a short period of time, and like you're thinking like,
Have I built enough with this group of people? Have I not? Like I obviously would have liked more time, but like uh I don't think this was like a social and I'm really trying to be honest about it. Like this wasn't a social issue that played out, right? Like
Yeah.
I think everybody like, and you saw Andy kind of basically flip out and be like, oh, people like Jon, they don't like me. Everyone likes each other. Like that really was the feeling. And so I really do think it was much more of, well, Jon's clearly a threat. Andy no longer is. Maybe he's a little stronger in challenges, maybe not, but this guy needs us now. He's just imploded in front of everybody.
Can you size up the rest of this group? I think we got a pretty clear picture about Andy and where he's at from the episode, but could you tell us your perception of the rest of this group?
No, no, I can't. No, I don't look, I've got to be, I'm going to be good. There's all, Rob, there's so much I could tell you.
Yeah,
There's so
no
much
doubt.
to come.
No doubt. Yeah. Okay, we'll keep watching. We were on the fence.
Listen, if people feel so brokenhearted about my absence that they're gonna, no, I'm kidding. No, everybody should keep watching. There's a lot to come.
You said your friends and family are going to you let you have it over this. What's been the response to you being the first out?
I'll tell you, like, I was bummed about being the first out, and
There was, I think, the real reason and the kind of shallow reason. The real reason is I wanted to play more, and I felt like I had a lot more to. This was an unusual, unprecedented situation, and so like I feel bummed about that. The shallow reason was like, oh, everybody's going to see this. Like you've been through this. I'm basically putting on my Google Calendar. Everyone's going to make fun of you on this day. Like that's a strange thing to see coming up. But actually, like I thought people would be a little bit meaner. But what were you gonna say?
That's every day for me, Jon.
Oh, that's every day. That's every day. But so
Must
I
be
actually
nice.
like I both like publicly and like from friends and family, everybody's pretty mad. I've been genuinely surprised by just how much the reaction is sort of like this is bullshit. Like wait, what this that we wanted more, and also like this was such a strange situation. You sort of didn't get the full experience. So I get the right balance of people mad on my behalf and mocking me for my friends and family.
Yeah, there was a lot of interest from people who are fans of your work. And I would like to add that Love It or Leave It, very fun listen for me on the weekend to hear the live show. And I think people are really bummed out that we don't get to get your Survivor takes anymore. You watched the whole show in private, didn't tell anybody. We get you for one night, and then that's it. Are you done talking about Survivor?
No, now I'm in it. Now I'm in it, Rob. And like I feel like
So I had watched and not told everybody that I was catching up because I didn't want to be spoiled. But now I'm in it. Now I'm caught up. Now I can talk about it. And like I love talking about Survivor. I love getting to do Survivor. Like I don't have any regrets about it. It was like a fascinating, rewarding experience. And by the way, like, and I obviously can't go into it, but like Ponderosa, like when people get voted off Survivor, myself included, you figure out the story you tell, not just the world, but the one you tell yourself about what happened, right? And you start figuring out the little pieces of the narrative you like that make you feel better and the ones you kind of cast aside. But when people get voted off, for that first couple of hours, they are so raw and they have so much information and they're just like spilling about what happened.
Yeah.
And I learned more about Survivor from each player as they were voted off than I did in watching or even being a part of it. I
Yeah.
sincerely, like, you learn so much in those moments before people have figured out how they're going to talk about it. They just lay it all out there. And so that did leave me wanting more, I will
Okay.
say.
Now, would you do it again?
Would you do it again, Rob? The answer is yes.
Okay. All right. You could
You
answer for
wouldn't?
both of us. You could answer for both of us.
I would
Listen, but how many 40 something white podcasters can they have, Jon?
Well, they can have, I think, two.
Okay. All right. Fine.
But
Fair enough.
oh, and no, I'm like, I love getting to do it. I don't care that, like, oh, I've
a first boot, obviously not ideal. Like, I wanted to play more. I had more that I could do, and I was excited about all the different parts of it. So, like, obviously, I went to play Survivor. I would like to play more. Yeah.
Okay. Jon, what could you tell us about the whole situation with Andy, watching it play out in real time? I mean, we get a version on television, but what was it like in the real time for you?
It was confusing. It was confusing. It was just confusing. Like, in the moment,
While we're standing there on the mat, it's like, you're like, is this real? Is this maneuvering? Is it
Yeah.
a paranoia? Is it a combination of both? It's hard to know what to believe. Like, you can't, and like, you are like, is this, first of all, like, I could vaguely, like, you see it in the thing. I say something like, I think he's all right. Like, because I could hear a little bit of the conversation that was happening around him. And I was hearing, like, Dr. Joe being like, you're okay, you're just hot or overheating, you're fine. Like, you just like take him. Like, so it was very clear pretty quickly that he's like fine. And so then you're thinking, like, is he just trying to stop the challenge? Is he trying to, like, is this like, what's happening, right? And then he throws my name out there, and it's like again, like, is this a move? I guess like, he says it isn't okay, and like, you're watching something unfold, like, you're like, oh, someone's like really breaking down in front of you. Like,
Yeah.
how do you react to that? I don't know.
I thought you handled that incredibly well when he threw your name out there. I thought your answer in the moment was really, really great.
Well, all I was trying to do is get out of this with some optionality, right? Like, because I thought about, I was like, I could hit him back or be angry at him or deny it. I could make this more of a thing. But really, all I was thinking is, like, I need to get out of this with Andy not thinking he's lost me.
Yeah.
Right. So that if I need to go back to him, I can still do that, while at the same time trying to, like, keep myself aligned with the rest of the group. Right. Like, it was a very delicate and confusing thing.
Yeah. Now, Jon, your appeal to swing voters on the Gata tribe may have fallen on deaf ears, but is there anything that you would want to direct the attention to of any potential American swing voters?
Yes. Hey, listen, you see what happens when a vote doesn't go your way? I will be doing an insurrection in episode 2, which you can all look forward to. We have less than 7 weeks until the election. Everybody go to Vote Save. This is a show about voting. It's a show about how important your vote is. Go to votesaveamerica.com, sign up, make sure you're registered, make sure your friends and family are registered, and then do one more thing than you otherwise would have done. One volunteer shift, one small donation. Vote Save America will show you the best ways to help, the most effective ways to help. Please, please, please do me a favor and go.
Shouldn't they have put you on the blue tribe? Wouldn't that have made sense?
Yeah, sure. Anywhere but where I was. It couldn't have got, hey, Rob, couldn't have gone worse.
Yeah. Jon, I'm very bummed out to lose you this soon, but we'll be following for more Survivor takes, and please more Allison Reese. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way,
if you wish you had more of me, you can get plenty of me at Pod Save America and Love It or Leave It.
Yep. Okay. All right. I think that you must have had like a huge, you being on Survivor was a huge bump for the show because it seems like it's doing great. A lot of interest this summer.
Yeah, that's I agree, Rob. I agree. And you know what? I think that's something that everybody should keep in mind over there. All right.
Yeah.
Jeff, you hear that? You hear that?
Yeah.
You hear what Rob said? All
Yeah.
right.
Okay. I know you need to run. All right. Thanks so much, Jon. Take care.
Thanks, Rob.